Hello everybody out there. So for today's video, I'm actually not doing a live stream. I'm actually just recording this video, which I haven't done in about 5 or 6 months. Ironically enough, I'm still doing the video and the topic that I wanted to talk about because of the topic that I wanted to talk about, ironically enough, but I really was unsure about doing the video. I feel like it's a bigger deal and something I want to talk about. And as I sat here sitting down, really thinking it over, I know a lot of times when I do these videos, I really kind of like play out in my head what I want to say and where I want to go. And this might be one of the first videos in a long time that I post where I don't necessarily do that. So if you end up watching the whole thing, I greatly appreciate it. I understand if you get a little lost in the sauce, because I might be a little lost in the sauce as well, but I do feel like the information that I'm going to put out there is good quality stuff and important stuff, and I feel like people out there need to hear it. And I also feel like at the end of the day, if you've been watching some of these videos, you probably already realize I jump around a little bit, but this might be a little bit above that. So actual topic of the video today is going to be on persistency. And I feel like for people watching this video, the people that it's really going to help are people that are working towards a goal or an objective or have something that they want to accomplish in their life. And I feel like this can be applied to a lot of different people situations, whether you're someone who's starting your own business, or you're getting into a new career, or you're starting out in the gym for the first time, or maybe you have a goal to do a Tough Mudder competition or some other obstacle course thing like that. Or maybe you're someone in high school who wants to go to college and no one else in your family has ever gone to college before. Or maybe you're someone who's in college and you want to get on the dean's list because you need to make sure that you're getting more scholarship money next term because you're having a hard time paying for everything. Or maybe you're just somebody who's trying to get by to the next step of your life and you're having a fucking hard time doing it, man. I think at the end of the day, we realize how much struggle people are going through, but I feel like far too often people don't help other people with their struggles. People aren't there to support them. So hopefully that's what I can do with this video a little bit, is give you some perspective, give you some some motivation and inspiration. I laugh because I'm going to kind of knock on those things here in a minute, but I really want to talk about persistency. So if you're falling in one of those categories, or anybody else who's just trying to accomplish something in their life, continue to watch and hopefully you enjoy what you hear. So to start off, I really do want to say that I'm not knocking motivation or inspiration. I do believe that you have to be inspired. You have to be inspired to start something new, or start a new project, or start a new job and want to be successful, or getting into the gym and wanting to lose 100 pounds, or whatever your goal may be in life. You have to be inspired. From there, you have to be motivated. You have to be motivated to start. And that's the key. And I think that's where we kind of get lost in the sauce within our own world, is we use motivation kind of as a crutch, where we say, I don't feel motivated today, or I'm not motivated, or I'm feeling unmotivated or demotivated, or however we want to word it. But I think we kind of use it as an excuse. We kind of use it as a crutch to be like, I don't want to put in the work today. And I'm not, again, saying that you don't need motivation, because in the beginning you do. You have to have that motivation, inspiration for the idea, motivation to start. But what we really don't talk about a lot is persistency. And for me, what I think of being persistent, what I really think of is really continuing a course of action, or continuing pushing forward in the face of adversity, or just through hard times, easy times, all the times, and just not quitting. And I think this is really important, because initially when you first start something, you feel very inspired and very motivated. And if you're starting a business, if you're going to the gym, whatever it is, you start telling friends and family like, hey, I'm doing this, or I want to accomplish this, or this is what I'm trying to get to. And everyone kind of rallies behind you. And everyone's like, in their corner, talking to you about it, giving you motivation, saying words of advice, asking you about it. But then you start getting farther into it. You get in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, a year into whatever you're working on. And for a lot of these goals, they might take months or years to actually accomplish to the level that you want to get up to. And along the way, people stop talking to you about it as much. And people stop being in your ear as much. And people aren't bringing it up. People aren't really motivating you. They're not asking you questions. They're not really seeing the process. And a lot of times I feel like we kind of start feeling very alone. And this is where I feel like persistence really is the most important thing, because I think you have to have the mentality that not everyone's going to be there. a lot of people might not see what you want to do. If you have a big goal that you want to accomplish, you're wanting to start a company. I mean, think about it. Like, I hate using these examples because I don't like these people. But if you look at like someone like Steve Jobs, like he had something that he wanted to do that no one had ever done before. And people didn't understand his journey. People didn't understand his vision. And they weren't really always along for the ride. And I think that's the most important thing we have to keep in mind is that not everyone's going to see our vision. Not everyone's going to see our end goal, regardless of what it is. You could just be going to the gym and wanting to look better, and people might not be able to imagine you looking different. And because they don't see it, because they're not living it, because they're not in the thick of it with you, that's when they stop asking, and that's when they stop like supporting you as much. And that's when you have to really dig into yourself and dig into your why of why you're doing what you're doing and why you want to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. And you have to be persistent. You have to be willing to put in the work every single day. Because there are days where, I'm not going to lie to you, like, yeah, you can get away with being like, I don't feel motivated today and I'm not going to do shit to work on my project or work on my goal. But more days than not, when you're not feeling motivated, you still have to get your ass off the couch, out of bed, whatever it may be, get in your car, drive to the gym, drive to your job, work at your house, whatever it is that you're doing that you're trying to accomplish. You got to get your ass up and you got to do it. Even if you're not feeling motivated, even if that motivation is not inside of you, you have to be persistent. Whether that means you have daily habits, daily rituals, you have a calendar that you follow to the T, whatever you need to utilize to be persistent, you have to do it. Because if you're not persistent, I'm telling you right now, if you're not every day or almost every day trying to take even just small baby steps forward, you're not going to reach your goal. You're not going to get where you want to get because you have to be persistent. And I think that one of the things, and I know it's kind of a dumb analogy, but I do enjoy it a lot, and I think it's from the movie Casino, as random as that is. But one of the characters talks about one of the other like mafia guys, and he says that he's the type of guy that won't quit. He won't stop. And it's a really negative analogy, but it's very, very helpful for my brain when I think about like how I look at life. And he says, if you beat him with your fists, then he's going to come at you with a knife. And if you beat him with a knife, he's going to come at you with a gun. And if you beat him with a gun, you better kill him, because if you don't, he's going to keep on coming after you until one of you are dead. And it's a very negative analogy, but it is this idea of persistence, this idea of not quitting. And I think that that's the idea that really resonates with me the most about being persistent, is at times you're not going to feel motivated, you're not going to have as much support as you need. And at times, the things that you're doing, as far as like your daily activities, your daily habits, you following your calendar, whatever that looks like for you, those things might not work. You might be putting in a shit ton of effort, but not getting the results out that you want to get. And you might be doing things a certain type of way. Again, like you might be trying to lose weight, and your diet isn't as good as it needs to be, or you're not doing the right type of cardio, or you're working at a job and you're trying to work your way up and you're not completing projects in the timely manner that you need to be completing them in, or you're not doing them as well as they need to be done, and you're not like progressing. And again, this comes back to persistence, because a lot of people, when they face more adversity, when they're farther into the process, they don't have that crazy support system around them, they don't feel motivated, and they start falling down and they start not making progress, they quit. They stop working on what they're working on. They stop moving forward and they drop it. People quit the gym all the time. People quit jobs, or they just kind of stop trying to progress. People start businesses and they stop doing them. They quit. They close their business, whatever it may be, because they're lacking that persistence to push through adversity. And I think a lot of times, in a lot of cases, it's pushing through obscurity. Because if you're starting out doing something new, and I say obscurity because when you start out doing something new that other people don't see the vision, other people don't see what your goal is, other people don't see what you're picturing at the end of the tunnel, if you will, I think you're fighting through obscurity, because there are people that don't understand, people that don't see it the way that you see it. And so you have to push through that point in time like this fucking wall, and you have to overcome it, get through it, break it down however you want to use the analogy, but you have to get to that obscurity of misunderstanding or not understanding or just not feeling what you're trying to accomplish and not quit. And another great quote that I feel like a lot of people have probably heard, but if you haven't, then let me bestow it upon you, is even when we fall, if you fall forward, you're still moving forward. You're still making progress. But again, there's gonna be days where you don't feel motivated, where you're tired, where you don't want to go, where you don't want to put in the effort, if things aren't working out. But if you have the mentality of being persistent, that no matter what happens, you are gonna fucking keep going. Because at the end of the day, the deepest, and I love saying this because it's so stupid, but it's so funny to me. At the deepest end of the day, the deepest part of the day, in reality, you can make two choices. You can quit, and you can face the pain of quitting and the sadness and I guess just like the despair of quitting and not knowing that if you would have just kept going, that maybe you would have reached your goal. That maybe you would have lost the weight you wanted to lose. Maybe you would have got that promotion. Maybe that business would have taken off and that would have been the income that you had. Like, you would have had enough income coming in from just that business and it would have been more fruitful and grown and expanded and whatever else. But you gave up. So then you have to live in wonder and doubt and remorse and regret over not continuing. Excuse me. Or you can keep being persistent. Keep pushing forward, because at the end of the day, through all the pain, through all the hard days, through all the sadness, through all the obscurity, through all the negative time, through the lack of, sometimes, like I said, the lack of motivation, the lack of being supported, the lack of support in general, if you keep pushing, at some point in time, all that negativity will be filled up with positivity. But you have to be willing to push through that wall and continue to not stop, continue to be persistent. No matter what happens, you have got to keep going, because at the end of the day, the easier thing is to quit. There are so many people who look back on their lives and they think, God, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. And they can't, because they're too old, or they're sick, or they're dying, or they're not in the financial situation to do it anymore because they physically can't. Or they have too many responsibilities because they're a mortgage, 2 car notes, and 4 kids in, and there's no way they can start their own business now. They're stuck. Don't be that person. And if you're in the point in time where you feel like giving up, I'm telling you right now, don't. If I'm the only person telling you not to give up, then please believe me, lean on me, trust me, don't give up. And again, if I'm the only person, I would ask you to reach out. Reach out, because I will support you. Because I understand how it feels to feel alone, to feel unsure, to be facing obscurity, to feel like you don't know if what the fuck you're doing is right. You don't know if you're pushing forward, if you're falling back, what's going on. But you're someone who's not going to quit. Again, please feel free to reach out, because the whole idea of doing these videos, of making this channel, of all this other dumb shit that I always say, and I say it's dumb shit because it is, because it gets old saying, but the whole idea is to help people. The whole idea is to try and be a light in this world, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of darkness. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people who want to accomplish crazy, big, important things that need to happen. Because at the end of the day, if people like Malcolm X, or people like even like MLK, or Rosa Parks, or other people that I can't think of off the top of my head because I can't just do it right now because I'm so emotionally invested in this video. But if all these people gave up or quit or weren't persistent every single day trying to make a difference, trying to change things, trying to change a fucking society. Like, again, like, trying to do something that's never been done, man. Like, that's not been done here, at least in the US at that point in time. Like, if they quit, where would we be? Like, what would our country look like? How much worse would it be? How many other things would not have been accomplished if people were not persistent in the face of adversity? If they didn't keep pushing through no matter what, no matter if they were falling down, no matter if they didn't feel motivated, no matter if they didn't have a support system, no matter if people told them they were crazy or they couldn't do it. It's another thing too, is you're going to be able to tell you that you're crazy, or that what you're doing is impossible, that it can't be done, no one's done it. Good. Because at the end of the day, that should be another motivation, another motivational thing for you, is doing something that someone else is telling you that you can't do, that no one has ever done before. Great, be the person that does it. But again, I'm telling you, the point of doing this channel, the point of trying to create the greater than movement, training to create like the greater than community and all these different projects within it is to help people, to change their lives, to give them light, to give them motivation, to try and just make people's lives better and help people do things that are greater than themselves. Whether that's within politics, within our society, within religion, within relationships, it doesn't really matter. The point of the whole thing, obviously, is already in the name, is to be greater than. To be greater than you were today, tomorrow, and be greater than today than you were yesterday. And always consistently improving and not giving up. Because you can't be greater than, you can't improve, you can't get closer to your goals if you stop. So at the end of the day, if anybody wants to reach out, if anybody needs motivation, if anybody needs words of advice on what they're going through, if anybody needs some perspective, if someone just needs a friend, or just, a friend, or whatever you want to call it, classify it as, to help them through whatever they're going through, just tell them that what they're doing is right. Tell them what they're doing is a good idea. Tell them to not quit, to give them some more motivation. Please feel free to reach out. You can reach out through YouTube. You can reach out through any of the social media channels. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, that's why I'm doing this, is to help people. Like, I really don't care about much else, because at the end of the day, like I said, there's so much negative energy. There's so many black holes that are sucking up light and sucking at people's souls and just all the just negative shit, that we got to have more people that are trying to improve themselves and improve the people around them and improve this world, so that the world can try and get better, so that we can try and have more light than darkness. So at the end of the day, guys, that's what I got. I don't know. It's a lot of rambling. It's a lot of jumping around, but hopefully you get some type of quality out of this video. You get something taken away, or at the very least, you have another resource to reach out to, someone to, like I said, motivate you or try and give you some positivity or some perspective. So hope you guys have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and remember, above all, be greater than. Take care, guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.